Storm clouds may be finally lifting from the Dodger pitching staff. Meanwhile, don't expect a trade to fill Max Muncy's shoes, and Bronny James doesn't join in for the Lakers Summer League opener. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is July 6, 2025. I am still on the road, spreading the gospel of LA sports coast to coast, one half-star hotel at a time. It's also Sunday, the Lord's Day, and if you believe as I do, take a moment and thank Him for the blessings in your life, like LA. And if you'd like to be in the know about Los Angeles, clack that like button. Clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. So before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Houston 6, Dodgers 4. So be it. Let's move on from the trash throws. The Sparks defeated Indiana 89-87. Look, the Sparks aren't a good basketball team. We know this. But considering that they only won 8 games last year, they have 6 now at almost the halfway point of the WNBA season. Baby steps. Meanwhile, LAFC at Austin was postponed. The weather out in Tejas was craptacular. There has not been a new date announced yet. As for today, Houston's at the Dodgers at 1 o'clock. So what do you say we get to the news? And we have a lot of Dodger news to discuss. With a comfortable lead in the NL West, super comfortable, 5-star hotel accommodations level of comfort. I wouldn't know. But the Dodgers appear to be looking for a kill shot with massive upgrades in their pitcher's recovery. For example, the Dodgers finally understood it was pointless to keep Emmett Sheehan in the minors. He is back in the majors to start today, according to the Orange County Register. Sheehan, as you might recall, missed all of last season after undergoing Tommy John surgery. He had a start in LA just a few weeks ago. Totally strong. 6 strikeouts in 4 innings. And yet, they sent him back down to the Midwest manure pit anyway. Go figure. Either way, it seems as if Friday's 18-1 loss to the Trastros was the big clue that it's time to thank Ben Kasparius for the yeoman's work that he's done. But it's time for that inevitable return to the bullpen, my dude. It's not like Kasparius is going to be lonely back in the left field pavilion, by the way, because according to Dave Roberts, there are going to be some choices to make in the coming weeks. For example, Roberts said Tyler Glasnow's next start will be with the big club, likely on the upcoming road trip. Tyler Glasnow, remember him? Dude hasn't pitched since April 27th with shoulder inflammation. So for now, maybe you say he's the guy slotting in for Kasparius. Fine. But wait, there's more. Blake Snell and Blake Trinan faced hitters in a 2-inning simulated game Saturday. Roberts was beside himself with childlike glee over the results from that. Both pitchers could begin a rehab stint as soon as after the All-Star break, which comes in less than 2 weeks. And look, no 2 injuries are exactly alike. Totally get that. But Snell and Glasnow were sidelined with shoulder inflammation. Glasnow needed 3 starts for Oklahoma City. If that's the case with Snell, you're thinking he's coming back maybe mid-August? How would you like to add a 2-time Cy Young Award winner to your staff in mid-August? Now, he hasn't pitched since April 2nd with, again, left shoulder inflammation. But Roberts was just raving. Quote, "I don't know what the velo was, but the ball was coming out really well. He used his entire pitch mix. I thought the delivery was clean, sharp, so really positive day," unquote. Now, all of these developments are somewhat amusing in light of a column that was published by LA Times part-time Dodger reporter and full-time political activist Dylan Hernandez. He's urging the Dodgers to just push all the chips in and add more starting pitching. More. Can never have enough. Now, I don't want to totally dismiss his point. If you recall, the Dodgers managed to win a World Series last year with a rotation of what? 2? That's not sustainable, guys. So who gets dropped from the roto aside from Kasparius? You're going to have some real arguments. For example, who is going to argue that surefire first ballot Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw should go? Do you really want to make that argument? The guy who in his last start hit 3,000 strikeouts, that guy's your 4th starter in this rotation right now. He's 4-0. He has an ERA of 3.43. Are you really sure you want to bench that guy? But you're bringing back Sheehan today. In a few weeks, Snell, Glasnow sooner. And by the way, you're gradually increasing the workload of Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani pitched yesterday. He struck out 3 in 2 innings. And have you noticed, I haven't even mentioned Roki Sasaki yet. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he ain't going anywhere. Look at the roto. I'd imagine that Dustin May would be the first to go. But even Kershaw could be on the outside looking in. So we go back now to the LA Times column. And you have to ask yourself, yeah, sometimes the pitching has been squeamish with all the randos that they've been bringing up from AAA for spot starts. But are we really sure right now that adding more pitching is really the way to go? Is it really? Here's something totally different. We're going to talk about injured Dodgers who do not pitch. The Dodgers also shut down the idea of trading for a new third baseman in the wake of Max Muncy's bruised bone, which is adjacent to the left knee. Roberts said, quote, "Knowing the certainty of Max coming back at some point, I don't think that will really impact our thinking going into the deadline. Even if his recovery is way slow, you have a full month of baseball before we hit the playoffs. We're giving him that time to get back into a good place and try to set up a good foundation, like we try to do with all our guys, to be prepared for that stretch run," unquote. Now, this is hardly new ground for the Dodgers. So the fact that they're not looking at, say, Nolan Arenado, despite all the internet gossip, look, they didn't have Muncy for half the season last year. They went with a committee. More often than not, Kike Hernandez was playing third. The problem now, however, is Kike Hernandez can't hit. As the players say, the dude's on the interstate. I think it's 194. So the plan is to go by committee. Allegedly, Tommy Edman will hit and play third against right-handed pitchers. Hernandez and Miguel Rojas will platoon against lefties. So don't expect a Dodger trade for third base, which we were talking about yesterday. They know they're getting Muncy back. Also, the Dodgers summoned reliever Jack Little from AAA and sent down Noah Davis. So be it. But as you noticed, that is a ton of Dodger news to talk about. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments thread. Bronny James did not play in the Lakers Summer League opener, and man, did the fans just lose their minds on the socials, accusing the Lakers of load managing a 20-year-old, which sounds absurd. It sounds absurd to say it, to write it, to consider it. It's possible, frankly. And if that is the case, it kind of saddens me. We don't know the reason he was benched. I'm not jumping to that conclusion. But yesterday we were talking about how James is facing a critical point in his pro career. Soon, very soon, he has to show validation. Something that makes it clear he's an NBA prospect and not a Nepo baby. Because if he doesn't, his pro career vanishes once his dad retires. Straight and simple. If Bronny James is big leaguing us for Summer League, that is not to his benefit at all. And by the way, I do realize a couple of viewers are really pulling super hard for Villanova guard Eric Dickerson, who the Lakers signed after he was undrafted. Dixon led the NCAA in scoring last year. So fair. Fair for you guys to pull for Eric Dixon. But the thing is, not every undrafted player is going to turn into Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves was an anomaly. You have scouts, you have reports, you have all this data coming in. There are reasons players don't go undrafted. If somebody who goes undrafted all of a sudden becomes a legit NBA player, you thank God for that player, but you can't count on it. The Lakers took a flyer on Dixon. They took a flyer. They invested capital in Bronny James. There's a difference. That's why this summer league matters more about the development of Bronny James. Dixon, he's like the surprisingly cute chick who doesn't have a man when it's the last call at the local bar, right? And you're looking at that girl and you want to say hi, but is that chick really your soulmate, or is she somebody who has so many red flags and you don't know about it yet? That's who Eric Dixon is. And I keep wanting to say Eric Dickerson, of course. But do you see where I'm going here? There was some thought behind taking Bronny James. They invested capital in him. That's what makes this particular summer league so important. And hopefully it's important to Bronny James. He better realize it. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example. Who would you put in the Dodger Roto once all these guys start coming back? And for that matter, are you leaning more towards Bronny James development, or are you hoping that the Lakers strike gold with Dixon? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Cortell Queso production. Take care.